Tonight on News 5 Live, right now the High Court is hearing an injunction to reverse the announcement of the 2025 general election. We'll bring you the latest from Justice Tawanda Hondura's courtroom. Plus, KHMH employees are protesting for retirement benefits. The Belize City Magistrate's court is shut down due to mold. And we'll head back to Corzal to meet the remaining candidates for the upcoming general election. All this and more coming up in just 60 seconds.
Our older persons deserve to live with dignity and respect. They built this country, and now it's our turn to care for them. Under Plan Belize, we've taken significant steps to improve the lives of our seniors. We've expanded the Boost program, launched the Roving Caregivers program, and included seniors in our low-income housing initiative. We've made healthcare more accessible by expanding the national health insurance and removing primary healthcare fees. We've championed the rights of our older persons by enacting the disability legislation and signing the Inter-American Convention on Protecting the Human Rights of Older Persons. The government of Belize is committed to ensuring a better tomorrow for all Belizeans, especially our elders. Plan Belize, delivering on our promise to protect our older persons.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, February 12th. I am Sabrina Daly. Imagine stepping into the courtroom today, where the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. The room was filled with a mix of legal professionals, journalists, and curious onlookers, all eager to witness the proceedings. Justice Tawanda Handora presided over the case with a commanding presence, while senior counsel Anand Ramlogan passionately argued on behalf of his clients. The tension was palpable as he sought to challenge the Prime Minister's advice to dissolve Parliament and prevent the issuance of a writ of election. The courtroom buzzed with whispers and the occasional gasp as each argument unfolded, making it clear that this was a pivotal moment in Belize's political landscape. On set with me this evening is reporter Paul Lopez. He's been following the proceedings since 11 a.m. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening.
How you feeling? Tired, I imagine?
Tired. It's been a day.
You were an observer in the courtroom. Describe to me what the atmosphere was like and the things you heard.
So let's just start by saying that this hearing began at 11 a.m. There were some housekeeping matters that were dealt with, and almost an initial thought a thought that the hearing wouldn't have taken place today. And one of the reasons why we thought so was because Anand Ramlogan, a senior counsel who's representing the claimants, he's there virtually. He's appearing virtually, right? So he's appearing from Fort Lauderdale. So that's in Florida. And there was a suggestion that a submission for the hearing to be delayed until next week, Monday.
Yes.
When he could appear in court. However, Mr. Ramlogan argued against that, indicating that it's a very urgent matter and it needs to be dealt with urgently. And if the court would facilitate that, he wants to get it done today.
And that's why it was sped up to take place.
So that's why they went into the substantive arguments as of around, let's say, midday today, right? And so this has been a marathon.
And it's still happening.
It's still ongoing. It began at 11 this morning. If I'm to guess, I would say over the last 7 hours, the break amounts to about 30 minutes.
Wow.
Thereabout. I've covered a lot of court cases over my short journalist career. And usually the breaks, especially during lunch, go for an hour, 2 hours. Here, we're talking about a 30-minute break within a span of 7 hours right now.
All right. For those of you who are not up to speed with what's taking place, and they should be because an election was already called, Paul, let's explain to our viewers what is the purpose behind this court case.
So three claimants, three Belizeans, three citizens, brought a case against the government of Belize to say that because redistricting hasn't been undertaken as yet, or at least it hasn't been finalized, that there is inequity among the constituencies. So the boundaries haven't been realigned, hasn't been redrawn, so there are certain inequities. And as a result, their constitutional right to participate in a fair election is being violated. And so they brought initially an injunction through their attorney, Mr. Ramlogan, an injunction to halt the announcement of an election date by the Prime Minister, also to prevent the Prime Minister from advising the Governor General to, one, issue a writ of election, and two, dissolve Parliament. So let me just say what happened was they did not get that before the court on time, because when they filed that the night before the Prime Minister made the announcement, advised the Governor General and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So they did not get that done in time. So what they had to do, they had to file an amended application this time, this amended application is requesting that, one, the court orders that the Prime Minister rescinds or revokes that advice given to the Governor General to basically dissolve Parliament and to have the Governor General bring back or rescind its the writ of election which has already been issued, and for all of this to take place, take effect, and for an election date to be set, a new election date to be set, when until after the redistricting takes place.
So two things I want to point out. The importance of redistricting and the reason why this has been an ongoing conversation. When was the last time we have seen a redistricting exercise take place, Paul? I believe it's decades,
yes,
right?
So it's been some time, and that's why the 2019 consent order ahead of the 2020 general elections was important, and in fact it's one of the main documents or one of the main court rulings that Mr. Ramlogan used in his arguments against the government in this case.
So consider 2019 to now and the increase in population. That's just one of the reasons why redistricting is so important, to ensure that each voter has the same weight when they enter their votes at the polls. The second thing I want to point out was that you mentioned that the face of the group appealing essentially redistricting prior to the elections, they essentially did it too late, because just when they did it, the next day the election was called. Do you believe that to be a coincidence in this situation? Or
there's what one of the arguments that Senior Counsel Ramlogan made time and time again, or basically a request to the court, is that they consider or take in consideration the fact that the goalpost has been moving at a rapid rate, and they've had to try their best to keep up. So it was first rumors that the election would be called on Friday last week at the House meeting. They sought clarity on that, at which point Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney, who is representing the Attorney General as well as the Speaker of the House, notified the claimants that they won't make the announcement on Friday. Then following a few days later, they got rumors that, you know what, the Prime Minister was prepared to make the announcement on Tuesday. So there's a lot of moving parts, and this thing was happening swiftly. So coincidence or not, they had a hard time keeping up.
Right.
That's the challenge.
Especially
and that's what,
when you're not certain when the date will be announced.
Right, and that's what Ramlogan made clear in his argument. They sought for the government to basically commit to an undertaking to give them 5 days prior notice. But one of the arguments that Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney made is that this is one of the powers that the Prime Minister have, one of the few powers to call elections and to hold that date close to him. And Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney was basically saying, you have 3 individuals that are saying, we want to hear the date before everybody else, or nobody announcement before the entire country. And so that's one of the arguments used there. So
that's just one of the arguments on both sides. And as you mentioned, this has been a marathon. The case has been in process since 11 a.m. What were some of the other points raised across both sides?
So I'll just raise some of the more salient points. The first, of course, the claimants, they relied heavily on the fact that a consent order was issued in 2019, basically to an extent an admission from the government side, from the election and boundaries side, that there's some disproportion, that there's inequities where the constituency boundaries are concerned. And they were saying, so that's one document that the claimants, they relied on heavily to say, see, this is a consent order, a commitment was undertaken at that time. Has that commitment been fulfilled? Asking the court to assess whether or not that commitment has been fulfilled. They also spoke to the right that a voter has. You basically, as an elector, you have a right to vote. And when you exercise your right, you expect to exercise your right in an election that is fair,
yes,
an election that is rational, and an election that does not breach the Constitution. They're saying that the way the constituencies are currently set up, that it's arbitrary, unfair, irrational, and breaches the law, right? And then finally, just I could say from the claimant's side, another argument they use is that you've had government officials on record, including the Prime Minister, time and time again, agreeing that in fact the boundaries, they need to be reshaped, they need to be realigned, the boundaries. So all these facts on record, they use as an argument. Now, the claimants argued for about 4 hours straight. And Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney got up at around 3:15, and he began his defense. And here's a couple things that he said, salient points, just to answer this question quickly. Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney, one, said, all right, let's suppose that we grant the injunction. But then when the bill goes before Parliament, Representation of People's Act Amendment bill goes before Parliament, they could vote down the bill.
Yes.
They could say, yeah, well, we don't want the boundaries to be this way. And if they vote down the bill, then guess what? It goes back to the Elections and Boundaries Commission. They have to do the whole process over. And his argument is that this will then violate another part of the Constitution because it will require the government to stay in office longer than the 5 years prescribed within the Constitution. And so that's one of the arguments he makes. The second another argument that he makes has to do with the separation of powers. He suggests that while the court may have some authority to basically tell public officials to do your duty, in the event you're not doing your duty, there isn't necessarily much jurisdiction that the court has over Parliament to tell Parliament, hey, you have to vote on this, and you have to vote on this now, and you have to vote on this way. So the court doesn't necessarily have jurisdiction over Parliament. So who is to say if the injunction is granted, if Parliament will decide, you know what, let's vote on this, or let's stall this. Let's stall this for as long as possible. And the injunction says that an election can only be held when this is over with. So if we stall it for another 2 years, well, the injunction is there, the court has made a ruling, so we can't hold an election for another 2 years. And then again, it breaches the Constitution. So those
really could mean that they could be going in circles.
Which really means they could be going in circles. So right now what's happening is that the claimants are responding to the defendants' arguments, and we expect that there will be a ruling today. They're trying to wrap this up today so that we could see moving forward what will take place. So by tonight, we should have an answer. Exactly what will happen.
What was the atmosphere like on both sides as they were expressing their arguments and trying to, prove their point?
I appreciate how friendly these attorneys can.
Oh, it was friendly.
Be towards each other, though they're on two different sides of an argument.
Right.
At the same time, there were some explosive allegations made inside the courtroom that hopefully we'll be able to touch on at a later time when we get some comments on them. So it was a bit of explosiveness, it was a bit of calmness, but just a lot of legal debates, a lot of references to case and stuff like that. So it's just been a lot.
Well, Paul, we thank you, of course, for following this court case very closely for most of today. As you mentioned, we should have an answer later this evening, closer to tonight. And so as soon as that is provided, we will be also sharing that with you guys as well. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Alrighty, the government of Belize has brought in two top-notch attorneys for this case, Senior Counsels Eamon Courtney and Godfrey Smith. Courtney is representing the Attorney General and the Speaker of the House, while Smith is representing the Chair of the Elections and Boundaries Commission. But why isn't the Attorney General representing himself and the government in this matter? We asked him today to find out.
It's a valid concern, a valid observation. So, as you may be aware, so the Attorney General's ministry is charged with defending all matters. And we have a cadre of excellent, brilliant Crown Counsel, but as occurs with this matter, you're faced with a very urgent matter, a matter which requires an attorney with certain special skill and expertise. And regrettably, unfortunately, that's the nature of the affairs, and so we have to engage such attorneys. As I indicated earlier, we don't want to prejudge whatever determination that has to be made by the court. But certainly, I readily concede that that is a valid concern. But as I indicated, it is something in the normal course of things that government has to do.
Coming up, KHMH protests again over pension benefits. More when we return.
In 2022, we built on the foundation of Plan Belize, pushing forward with transformative changes for a safer, stronger Belize. The Visiting Justices program was revived after more than a decade, ensuring prisoner welfare while reinforcing dignity and the possibility of rehabilitation. This initiative, led by our ministry, is reshaping Belize's correctional system with compassion and oversight.
System creates a live stream of feedback to stakeholders and provides further outlets to safeguard a prisoner's dignity. It is more important than ever that in penal corrections, jails, holding cells, and prisons, that we strengthen the policies and systems that maintain the connection to each inmate's self-respect and human dignity. The visiting justice system guarantees institutionalized recognition, acknowledgement, and respect. In prison, if time is the only currency, then respect is the only bank.
Through the Rural Safety and Security Tour, we're bringing government directly to the people. With sessions in every district, we've partnered with communities to identify challenges and implement real solutions. Together, we're bridging the urban-rural divide and ensuring safety for all Belizeans. To strengthen our justice system, we delivered state-of-the-art forensic tools to the National Forensic Science Service. From rapid chemical identification to advanced evidence storage, these investments are revolutionizing how justice is served in Belize. With the Belize Integral Security Program, we're laying the groundwork for a new forensic lab, a fully functioning morgue, and upgraded transport for investigations. This is not just investment, it's innovation. In 2022, we showed what a hardworking government can achieve. From rural safety to cutting-edge forensics, we are building a nation where everyone feels secure and valued. Under Plan Belize, we're not just dreaming of a better tomorrow, we're making it happen today. A safer Belize begins with us. Let's keep building together.
Really? You not switch yet? No what? I tell you, I don't. You used to call me on my cell phone, late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, 'cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that hotline bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that hotline bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up and run, 'cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's Smart or no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone.
For the second time in less than a week, around 60 KHMH employees took their lunch break to rally in the hospital compound, pushing the government to finally set up a proper pension plan for them. Many of these dedicated workers have been at the hospital for up to 20 years without any retirement plan in place. Despite countless meetings over the years, there's been no real solution. After Saturday's protest and a promise from the hospital administration to arrange a meeting with the government, the employees are back today to keep the pressure on. News 5's Marian Ali was on the scene and has this report.
Give me pension! Give me pension! Give me more pension! Give me more election! More election! Pension! Give me me!
During their lunch break, about 60 members of the KHMH Workers Union gathered in the hospital parking lot, chanting to express their frustration with both the current and previous governments for not taking their pension plan seriously. These workers, part of a group of around 250 who have been at the hospital since before 2018, some for as long as 20 years, still don't have a retirement plan. Vice President of the KHMH Workers Union, Dr. Alien Gonzalez, told reporters that the employees are simply turning up the heat on those in power.
We have worked for the hospital, we have worked for the community, we have worked for the people of this country, and we deserve our pension just as any other public workers in this country. Our last meeting, as we mentioned before, was from October 2023, so that would have been maybe almost a year and 2 months. Right, and so we have tried in the past to meet with the government. We have tried in the past to communicate back with them and to reopen the pension negotiation, but it has been failed every time.
This issue stretches back for as far as 20 years for some employees who've been working all this time without any retirement benefits. KHMH CEO Chandra Nisbet Cancino describes it as a complicated matter.
It's been a couple decades that this issue has been on the table, because I had to do some research myself. There have been various legal opinions on this very same issue. Before this union took it up, I think it was the Belize Medical and Dental Union. They actually had an attorney look at it as well. And so there's a lot of meetings that have been held, a lot of opinions that have been given. So it is not a recent concern. It is a concern that has been over the decades, and it's particularly referring to the period between 2001 and 2017, which is when the authority established a provident fund. So there's that gap of about 15 years, where there is no pension coverage for those staff members, despite the fact that they came over from the government voluntarily. Some did not. Some of them still remain employees of the government. So it's not an issue for them, but it's an issue for those that came over to the authority.
Cancino says she supports the employees in their plight.
I honestly believe all workers deserve a pension. However, in this particular case, being public workers and serving the public, again, I do believe everybody deserves a pension, including the workers at Carl Hirschner Memorial Hospital.
KHMH has been grappling with a severe shortage of nurses for over 10 years. However, the hospital's CEO reassured everyone that they have a backup plan in place. If the current nurses decide to walk out due to an unfavorable government response, they'll bring in substitute nurses to keep things running smoothly.
Our contingency plan involves several things, including collaboration with the private sector, with other hospitals, our sessional nurses, etc. So yes, there is a contingency plan in place for nursing and for medicine.
But Gonzalez says the employees do not plan to walk out just yet.
We don't intend to break our services because we know we are essential workers and we know that the service that we give is very important. So we have no intention to break our service from the hospital and to the public.
Even if negotiations don't go your way and the government isn't relenting to your demands?
Well, that is something that we'll probably see in the future, not at this time. We do have certain plans in place or in motion for that, but that is not. We don't want to go to that extreme as yet.
The meeting with the union leaders, hospital administration, and government representatives will take place on Monday in Belmopan. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
The Belize City Magistrate Court announced it will be closed from midday today until Monday, February 17th. This decision comes after staff complained about health issues like kidney problems, migraines, and chest pains, all linked to prolonged mold exposure. Chief Magistrate Jayani Wegodapola confirmed that the closure is essential to tackle this hazardous situation. Today we caught up with Attorney General Anthony Sylvester for more details.
As you may know, whilst the judiciary, the Attorney General's ministry substantively has the responsibility to facilitate provisions of and allocations on a day-to-day basis where we wouldn't necessarily be attuned with what's taking place. But late last week, I was apprised of the situation with respect to the mold infestation, and obviously the decision to a decision was taken to address the matter, and so. Yesterday, speaking with the Chief Magistrate, and of course after she consulted with the Chief Justice, a decision was taken that there would be the closure of the court until we've sorted that matter out.
So it's closed now until Monday?
Yes.
So what will happen to persons who have matters in the interval?
Yes, so persons who have matters which are adjourned, a notice has been sent out. Those persons would have had live matter. Those matters have been adjourned to, I think, commencing the following week.
This morning, the National Creole Council proudly unveiled the second edition of the Creole English Dictionary. The original version came out in 2007, and this updated edition is packed with new words and revised spellings. It's all part of the Council's mission to keep Belizeans connected to their rich culture and to promote Creole as a recognized language. News 5's Brittany Gordon was at the launch to find out how the Council is working to keep the language vibrant and alive.
Creole is one of the most spoken languages in Belize, and for many, it's their mother tongue, or even the only language they know. However, a lot of Belizeans find it challenging to read and write in Creole, which has created a gap in Creole education. To tackle this issue, the National Creole Council has just launched the second edition of the Creole English Dictionary.
We got more than 560 new entries, and one new entry might be a new sense of the word, like the word tat, T-A-A-T. You didn't cook, not tat, right? But we got a flowers bank, and the lady they talk about, no man, tell us you don't want the tat in the dory, the libod. No, me never know that. Right? But that anybody who don't know dory and the riverbank know about tat. So that get added in as a new sense of the word tat.
The new edition is a hefty volume, over 600 pages long, and it's available both online and in print. The Council is doing its best to make the book as accessible as possible to everyone. Editor-in-Chief Sylvana Odes emphasized how vital language is in shaping and preserving a culture.
First of all, it's free online. Access 501. You could get it downloaded free. And then with the try again one app, so you could quick search free. And you could get it soon. We're going to Angelos and Brody's by end of the week. Hopefully they have it out. Today you could get it at the special price at $35, Belize. And the whole idea that any Lee money we make won't be so small just to make more book. All right, just to make more book, because we want people to get it.
The council took feedback from the first edition of the dictionary released back in 2007 to make these latest revisions. Savannah Udd's updated dictionary includes variations of words commonly used by Creole speakers. By standardizing the spelling, Udds explains Creole is one step closer to being recognized as an official language.
If you use a standard orthography, then there is a right way to spell it. You might have a variant way, an accepted variety, because that's how people pronounce it, like fi, a lot of people say fo. So fi, fa, fo, that one of the words for four, we got the most variants. But when you standardize, you don't want too many variants, because then you move away from the standard. So one dictionary is set out for be descriptive, for describe what people don't do. But the minute you get it codified, it becomes prescriptive. And it starts prescribed down the road. Where we could check the dictionary. We could check the dictionary, right?
The council calls this book a true labor of love for all Belizeans, urging everyone to help preserve and uplift the Creole language. They're already looking ahead with plans for a third edition expected to come out in the next 5 years. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
After the break, heading back to Corozal to meet the remaining political candidates. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSD, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Cooking just got easier with Kent Oils, your go-to choice for every dish. Available in 3 sizes and 3 great options: vegetable, corn, or canola oil. Perfect for frying, baking, sauteing, or grilling. Kent Oils deliver the quality you trust with a clean, natural flavor for all your cooking needs. Conveniently available at stores near you. Exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited.
DG, or National Telecom and the Cycling Federation of Belize, with the support of DigiWallet, the Belize City Council, M&M's Engineering, and Powerade, proudly bring you the 28th running of the Digi Valentine Cycling Tour in collaboration with the Belize Tourism Board. 3 exciting days of high energy and intense bike racing. Stage 1. Friday, February 14th, the fastest of the fastest proved themselves in the time trial on St. Thomas Street, starting at 6 p.m. Stage 2, Saturday, February 15th, the fast-paced road race starting at the Digi headquarters at 8 a.m. on St. Thomas Street in Belize City, heading to the Orange Walk roundabout and returning back to Belize City, ending at the Digi Signature store on the Philip Wilson Highway. The third and final stage takes place on Sunday, February 16th. 2 laps along the San Antonio circuit in the Mountain Pine Ridge. Takeoff time is 9 a.m. Come support your favorite elite under-23 masters, women and junior riders. Can't make it out? Follow all the stages live on the Digi Facebook and Cycling Federation pages. The annual Digi Valentine Cycling Tour 2025, February 14th, 15th and 16th. Don't miss it.
To wake up, move, and feel amazing. Get your heart pumping and your energy flowing with Morning Boost. A fun and dynamic workout show to kickstart your day. Whether you're a beginner or a fitness pro, we've got the moves to keep you motivated. So grab your mat, set your alarm, and let's get moving. Morning Boost, weekdays at 6 a.m., only on Channel 5.
Today, we're excited to bring you part 2 of our series of conversations with the political candidates running in the upcoming general election. On Tuesday, we introduced you to the candidates from both the reigning People's United Party and the opposition United Party, United Democratic Party in the Corozal Southwest and Corozal Southeast divisions. The UDP candidates highlighted that their constituents are most concerned about the cost of living, while the PUP candidates emphasized the need for more or better infrastructure. In this report, we turn our focus on the candidates from the Corozal North and Corozal Bay areas. Here's News 5's Marian Ali with the details.
With just 29 days left until the March 12th general election, candidates are in a race against time to campaign and convince voters that they are the best choice to represent their constituencies. For some, like Hugo Pat and the UDP in Corozal North, this is a familiar territory. Pat, who has successfully navigated this part before, shared that the main concern among his constituents is the rising cost of living, echoing the sentiments of his UDP colleagues we spoke with on Tuesday.
You go around and speak to the families, and I'm not saying families in the middle class or the high end. I'm talking as well about the families who are socially marginalized. It is a challenge for every mom, for every dad, the worst yet if you're a single mother, to try and have ends meet. Food, for example, is so exorbitant, and you're not gonna blame the world outside and the events that are happening outside to see, look, inflation in this country is as a consequence of what's happening in the world. Fine, part of it is true, but the other part of the formula is that this country has a lot of taxes. I would always say, if you as a government, you're charging 41 cents for every dollar at the pump, imagine what that is causing to the end consumer.
While Pat highlights the rising prices of goods and services as the main concern, his rival, David Castillo, says he's been hearing more calls for land distribution from the community.
There's a lot of land problems in the area, over the past years, there's a lot of land issues in Corozal, not only here in Shaibe village, but throughout the constituency. So for the past couple of years, we have been addressing these matters in resolving land issues, So that is one of the major concerns. Secondly is infrastructure. There's the aspect of the infrastructure.
So they're asking for sports.
Yes, they want to see these things, but we, on our side, like what I mentioned, we have been working voluntarily. We are doing that. We are the ones promoting sports. We are the ones doing social programs.
Over in Corozal Bay, Hernan Riverol has thrown his hat into the ring. He ran as an independent candidate in the last elections, but now he's echoing the same concerns as his fellow UDP candidates, the rising cost of living. Riverol mentioned that residents in his division feel their concerns have been overlooked and are eager for change.
One of the main issues is the high cost of living, right? The roads, the people have been abandoned in Corozal. We had the central government, when they elected the government in Corozal, they said we had the municipal elections that was run by the PUP. They had the town council. Then they said that they cannot work too good because they did not have the support from the central government. So when the central government won, they still did not do anything. They're still not working in the Corozal Bay.
This is Thea Garcia Ramirez's first shot at a national convention. She is stepping in for the incumbent Elvia Vega Samos, who won the seat just months after her brother, David Dido Vega, sadly passed away from COVID in 2020. Thea mentioned that the residents of Corozal Bay are calling for more land distribution and cleaner open spaces.
The concerns are here in Corozal, streets and roads. There's a concern about garbage and garbage collection. Corozal is a very proud town, and Corozal Bay a proud constituency, and we have had some problems with garbage collection. The town itself is facing a lot of problems with streets, and of course concerns about cost of living, which I believe is national, no? But that's national. Everybody would say that that's a big concern. So those are the three big ones. You do have concerns because Corozal Bay, as is most of the other constituencies, is a very young constituency. So we have a lot of people between that age range, 18 to like 35. So young people want access to good paying jobs. They want access to starter homes, financing for homes. They want access to land ownership.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
The leaders of the PUP government are about to face some serious scrutiny in the coming weeks for the policies they've implemented over the past 4 years. One person who's particularly critical of their performance is the leader of the opposition, Moses Shine Barrow. He believes that the government's efforts have fallen short, especially when it comes to improving the quality of life for citizens, which he feels hasn't gotten any better over the last 4 years.
Under the People's United Party, all of their promises, for the most part, have been broken. The ones that truly counted, which was housing as a human right, which was the improvement of social services, and which was the improvement of the economy. We don't feel those benefits, because if you did, all of these different sectors would not be up in arms. It is not me, the leader of the opposition, criticizing the government. Every union, for the most part, is criticizing the government as we speak, and not just regular criticism, but to the point where their members are voting to have protests. And that is a reflection that people's lives have not improved over the last 4 years.
Meanwhile, Albert area representative Tracy Tager-Panton didn't hold back in her criticism of the government, accusing it of displaying a high level of arrogance. She pointed to the recent Senate hearing aired 2 days ago as an example, highlighting how the leader of government business, Senator Eamon Courtney, responded to a UDP senator.
I had an opportunity yesterday to listen to parts of the Senate hearing, and when I heard the leader of the government business in the Senate, Mr. Courtney, being dismissive to our representative on the opposition side, the level of arrogance that is palpable, it is clear that is not what the people of this country are prepared to continue to support. We need leaders with humility, with integrity, and who will take into account the voices of the people.
When we return, the leader of the opposition says the economy performed better under the UDP.
Your all-in-one destination for transforming your living spaces. Explore the world of GE with our selection of cutting-edge appliances for functional, convenient, and modern living. Find solutions for every paint project, from home to industrial, with our extensive selection of Sherwin-Williams paints and coatings. Safeguard your home with the durability of our weather-resistant windows and doors. Elevate your kitchen and bath with the timeless elegance of Kohler sinks and faucets. Transform your space with our constantly refreshed tile inventory, always embracing the latest tile trends. Design Depot, all in one place.
Belize is our home, a land of promise and opportunity. At Belize Government Lotteries Limited, we're not just about luck, we're about making a difference. Through our partnership with the National Health Insurance, your support allows us to strengthen healthcare systems, bringing quality medical services to communities across Belize. We're empowering our youth by funding programs in sports, because every child deserves a chance to shine. When you participate in Belize Government Lotteries, you're not just playing, you're investing in the future of our nation. Together, we're building healthier, happier, and stronger communities. For we fun, for we profits, for we Bolido.
Walking with my dog Luna at night feels safe because the streetlights are bright. Thanks to BL's LED streetlight project, our communities look much brighter. If you have an old fixture in your neighborhood, report it today using the BL 24/7 app. With just a few clicks, you too can help make our communities safer, brighter, and more energy efficient. Bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Really? You not switch yet? No what? I tell you. I don't.
You used to call me on my cell phone, late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that thought line bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that thought line bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up a brand, cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's smarter, no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone,
unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
This is my first time here.
Hopefully it's my last.
My dear friends, here we are, all in our true colors. Your transfer papers, your key to the Mvule Kingdom.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I know.
Here are your clippers.
Who's in?
We are perfect. We run this place. So let's act like it.
Solomon, the head prefect, quick. Is my collar straight?
You'll be out of Mvule High before you can pronounce the word scholarship.
We have a mystery to solve. The only way we can make a difference is if we stick together. When I'm head prefect, each and every student will have a voice.
You need to show that news quick, Mvule.
I hate this school! Freedom to grow.
During our chat on Tuesday, the leader of the opposition didn't hold back on his thoughts about the PUP's administration's handling of the economy, saying it leaves a lot to be desired. Barrow pointed out that under the UDP's last term, the economy was in much better shape, and they left behind a strong economy when they exited office in 2020.
The Prime Minister always talks about the economy. We left a great economy for the People's United Party. Before COVID, we had years where we were growing the economy at 4.4, 4.2, back-to-back years. The John Briceño administration has not done that. The only thing they have done is recovered the economy that we left. And the United Democratic Party built such a strong economy over the 13 years. That is why they were able to recover. But the Briceño administration has not gone even close to the growth, the GDP growth that we had through the 13 years. And you not only think that based on the statistics, but you live that. That is a lived reality, that the cost of living is worse than it has ever been. The quality of life has deteriorated to levels that we have not seen in quite some time.
Jose Uke-Spat, Barrow's standard bearer for the Albert Division, shared his thoughts on the key issues that need addressing as we head into the elections. He emphasized that political leaders, both past and present, should be held accountable and liable. Espat pointed to the UN Convention Against Corruption, which would hold these officials legally responsible.
Cost of living, infrastructure of the quality of the homes. And I speak of the houses first, because the quality of the home is another issue that needs to be addressed. We have a lot of broken homes in this country that is caused by politically driven poverty, to have a people in oppression to remain controlled by those in power. That's not my objective. The only way every one of these justice, the higher castle, everything can be fixed if we not just a check and balance, but we need liability, not only accountability, because we have had so many Senate inquiries and no one has set one foot in prison nor paid for what they have been found guilty of. So we can't just have accountability and people know what happened. We have to have liability. If you're a minister and you misappropriate certain amount of money, you have to respond to that and you have to pay by the law what you have to pay for misappropriating those monies, because decisions made by leaders in this country, they don't realize it and their constituents don't realize it and the people of this country don't realize it. But every decision made by one of these people affects every single one of us out here. So they have to be held not only accountable but liable.
Up next, PAC donates over $4 million to climate resilience projects.
A just, final, and peaceful resolution of Guatemala's claim to Belizean territory is the highest priority of our foreign policy. The ministry has completed the submission of Belize's written pleadings in the case of Guatemala's claim at the ICJ and applied to the court for resolution of Honduras's claim over the Zapadilla Keys area. The day when all claims to Belize's territory will be finally and peacefully resolved will soon be within sight. The ministry continuously works to reduce tensions, secure our land and maritime borders, and deter any incursions by Guatemalan armed forces. In the spirit of good neighborly cooperation, we have implemented cooperation agreements through the Belize-Guatemala Joint Commission, begun discussions on expanding the bilateral trade agreement, started exporting livestock, and undertaken a trade mission of Belizean business people. High-level engagements were intensified. The bilateral relationship with Guatemala has been re-energized and is on a path towards consolidating cooperation, trade, and investment between the two countries.
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make your purchase. There will also be a bike rally throughout the streets of Belize City, Blue Creek, and Spanish Lookout on February 8th, 15th, and 22nd respectively. All participants will get free oil change. Check out our Facebook page for more details. Love your Honda is all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February, only at Benquip Equipment Parts Service.
Really? You not switch yet? No what? I tell you. I don't.
You used to call me on my cell phone late night just to stay in touch. Call me on my cell phone, cause our connection used to mean so much. And I know when that thought line bling, February's got that love to bring. Yeah, I know when that thought line bling, Smart is giving you everything. These days all I do is wonder if you're still connected with somebody else. Wonder why you're missing out on what's best for yourself. You could have had more, but you're still stuck with them. You don't need no one else, you don't need nobody else. So it's time to switch up a brand, cause Smart's the best in the land. They got the top speed and the best service for your phone. You should just switch to them, it's Smarter, no one else. You used to call me on my cell phone.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México ahora puedan ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal. Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y el fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno. y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener pues el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
Coming up, a festival of long-distance running with some very familiar charms. How about Run Barbados? When it comes to entertainment, this iconic couple really puts on a show. Caribbean Passport TV brings the region closer together. Exciting destinations, healthier meals. Be viewing this station. So have your passport ready and let's travel.
This afternoon, the Protected Areas Conservation Trust made a generous donation of over $4 million to fund projects that will boost climate resilience in Belize. These grants are set to help communities tackle climate change issues like flooding and wildfires. News 5's Brittany Gordon was at the ceremony to get the scoop on how this money will be used and the positive impact it will have on the lives of Belizeans. Here's her report.
In 2024, wildfires ravaged hundreds of acres of forests and nearby areas, impacting thousands of Belizeans. These fires are a harsh reminder of the devastating effects of climate change. The Protected Areas Conservation Trust is dedicated to fighting and reducing these impacts. Today, PACT stepped up by donating over $4 million to climate-resilient projects across the country.
PAC is currently the only institution in Belize that are accredited to both the Green Climate Fund and the Adaptation Fund, which are climate finance mechanisms that provide financing support to countries to build resilience against the challenges and impacts of climate change. So this particular award ceremony is directly related to the Adaptation Fund. There was a particular mechanism that's called EDA, Enhanced Direct Actions, that are geared towards specifically to fund programs that are targeting community resilience. So it's more for the local communities to be able to address specific vulnerabilities that they are facing.
The $10 million program kicked off on February 12, 2024. Now celebrating its first anniversary, the 4 recipients have committed to using the funds to improve their communities. PACT also plans to award grants to another 4 organizations in the coming months.
Today we highlighted 4 partners. One was the Belmopan City Council, and they are, I'm sure a colleague from Belmopan here could appreciate the vulnerabilities of Tencent Creek. And so the idea is that this project will assist in improving the drainage infrastructure within the Tencent Creek area, and so we hope that that will assist Belmopan to be able to better address flood issues into the future. We also have a partnership with ICA, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture. They received a grant to provide additional support and lending to improve livelihood initiatives within communities across the country.
The Forest Department also received a donation, as it is one of the key regulatory departments within the Ministry of Sustainable Development and Climate Change. That project will focus on addressing wildfires in Belize. Sartaneja Village is the final grant recipient of the day. Village Chairman Paulino Guerrero expressed his gratitude to PACT for the generous donation of $464,000.
I feel happy, because first time we have this break in our village. Because every year in the dry season, we have problem with fire, and now I think that we will have the solution of that.
What do you plan to invest the money in specifically?
We have the repair the building and some machines for engines for the fire.
Castaneda reassures everyone that PACT keeps a close eye on how the funds are used, making sure they go towards the intended projects and objectives.
To be honest with you, to be able to access these funds, PAC as an organization has had to invest a lot in specific policies and procedures and systems that allow us to monitor and evaluate what are the impacts of these. And so we have installed within PAC a project management unit that's part of our climate finance unit specific to this program. But also, as we saw today, there are other elements that are in place. So there is a technical expert team that is there to provide guidance, and also a project steering committee that will be providing overall oversight on the program. So we do have various mechanisms to be able to ensure that we are meeting our targets. We have about 3 years or so to finalize these investments, and so we need to make sure that we meet all those objectives before the time runs out.
Guerrero also thanked PACT for their continuous support of the village, noting that PACT also funded its water system.
I think the people of my village will be happy because every year, then is the ones that suffer the bad moments.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.